So when I started here, and this is not a joke, my credit score was a 550. That was before you ever saw it. And I learned about pay for deletes, and I had one on my report that was one. So I went ahead and knocked that one out. And the one that was left, they were giving me so much strife with. I just couldn't, they were saying the balance was more than it was on the report. They wouldn't let me pay it. So around 3 months here, I had paid down my car. I wanted to do it myself, so I did it. And then we pull our update a month later. It's gone. I'm clear. It was crazy. It was so awesome to see. Yeah. When I got the email from the investigations team about that, oh my gosh, it was like this weight. It's the craziest feeling.
Hello everyone, Micah Smith here, back with another episode of Rebuild and Rise. And today we have one of the most unique episodes for all of you. This one is so close to home, literally, because Danni from Micah Abigail, and she is just beyond anyone that I could ever explain to you in words, and we're going to get to know her a little bit today. But she actually joined our team not even 6 months ago yet. And her story is one that is so uplifting and so beautiful, and she was willing to share it with all of you. And so without belaboring it, I wanted to introduce Danni Richardson to the show. Thank you so much, Danni, for being here. It is just, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for everyone to hear your story.
I'm excited as well. I'm so happy to be here.
Amazing. So, Danni, before we jump into everything, I would love for you to tell all of our listeners who you are, where did you come from, what is your background?
Okay, yeah, for sure. So I grew up in a very small town out in the country called Box Springs in a little county called Marion County, Georgia. Okay, the whole county has one stoplight for the whole county. Which is crazy. Yes, it's all farmland. There's nothing to do out there. The closest Walmart's 45 minutes away.
Oh my gosh. Oh
yes.
My gosh.
So I grew up with, my mom raised me. She's an amazing woman. Her name is Karen. I'm sure she's going to be watching this. Hi, Mom.
Oh, I love it.
She's a single mom, and she did the absolute best raising my sister and I on her own. My dad, he was unfortunately in and out of prison through my whole childhood, so we won't get too deep into that. But she did the best job raising us. I mean, she's the best woman in the world. She did a great job. She sacrificed a lot, and she's the best. And, I didn't think life would be like this at 25, right? Because I grew up in that tiny town. So for a lot of it, I really thought that college and high dreams just weren't really going to be an option for me due to the cost of it all, college is expensive, So I actually had planned on joining the U.S. Navy so that I would be able to pay for college. I don't think I've told you this. Yeah, I planned to join the Navy. I went through the whole process of MEPS and swearing in. I had a ship date and everything. And then I wasn't able to ship out because I had a massive ankle injury that prevented me from enlisting. So,
I think we did talk about the ankle injury at dinner in Georgia. We did talk about that. Yes, we did. That is incredible, though. I mean, you just reminded me of something so important. So your life completely and totally changed. So what did you think your life would be like at 25?
Well, I thought I'd be in the military, that was my plan. In high school, I think it was sophomore year, I set my mind on that, and I decided that was going to be what I was going to do. And then when that didn't happen, so my ship date was 2 weeks after my ankle injury. So every bit of planning, so I had originally enlisted in October of 2018, and I was supposed to ship out in July of 2019, and my ankle injury happened mid-June. So it completely uplifted everything. And I had no plan anymore. So I had to start at the very bottom. I worked at Chick-fil-A for a very long time. And then at Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen. And then 2020 happened and I started working from home in customer service. And then I found my way into the sales industry. And I've been here since.
Wow. Wow. I mean, and what a massive turn of events, because
Yes.
I still remember meeting you and we were talking about your goals. And I remember one of the things that I said to you, and I was like, we're going to get you to think bigger. And that was one of the things that I was
Yes.
I was like, I'm going to help this girl see what she is capable of. And you're starting to scratch the surface, which is really cool. We won't go into that yet. But what I wanted to actually talk to you is, so growing up, did she ever talk to you about credit or money or finances? What did that look like for you and your household?
She really didn't talk about it often because we didn't make much, right? So my mom,
Yeah.
she worked at Aflac for 15 years, and oh my God, she did the best job. And
Aw.
she's such a hard worker. She's incredible. And we didn't go into it much because my mom, I don't think she wanted us to know how bad finances actually were.
Sure.
As a child, I don't think I knew we were poor.
Yeah.
I had no idea. She would cook for us every night. We would have a crazy Christmas. I say crazy, but compared to like other kids, I
Yeah.
now know, like it wasn't actually this huge, giant, crazy Christmas, but it felt like it to me. She made everything so magical for us. So she tried to leave finances and credit out of it. I don't think I really knew until high school. So in high school, she actually had this calling, and I think God spoke to her. And she was at a restaurant, and she said she just had this massive, like, almost like a panic attack where all she could think about was that she had to be a nurse. Like, she wanted to be a nurse. She wanted to be a nurse. And it just wouldn't leave her head. And she quit her job. We moved in with my grandparents, and she went to school. And she is
Wow.
now, she actually has her bachelor's in nursing now. She works at Martin Army Hospital on base here in Fort Benning. And she is incredible. She's a registered nurse, and she's also, I believe it's called a sexual assault advocate as well. So she did a whole
Wow.
life uproot. And I don't think I really knew that we were, I guess, broke. I don't want to call it broke, but that until then, when she no longer had her job and we moved in with our grandparents. I don't think I really ever processed finances before that.
Wow, that's incredible. So I want to talk about how you ended up joining us here at Micah Abigail. So what did you expect when you started on day one?
I did not expect first for you to be the one training me. Having worked from having worked from home for 6 years, you get so used to starting at a company and being in a Zoom meeting of 50 people with a dedicated, specific training team, and you've never even spoken with the CEO a day in your life. I've never spoken with the CEO at any of my old companies ever. So it was so crazy. Coming here, it was just because things were starting to get really stressful at my old job. Management shift in, production expectations. It just was not the environment I thought it was anymore. So I started to look elsewhere, and I found here, and I'm so glad I did, right? I didn't expect the team to be so close knit. I mean, we all rely on each other so much every day. We talk to each other every day, and I have a direct relationship with you, which is insane. Like,
Yes.
I was so shocked. It's not something you see a lot. And then, I love the close, tight relationship we have with every employee at the team. I can name every single one. It's not like there's thousands of them on the back end that I'll never meet, and I'm not having to struggle to find out who do I need to talk to for this specific thing. We're
Yeah.
so close knit with each other, and I loved it.
I love that. That's so awesome. So before you started here, I want to ask you, did you think credit restoration was real, or did it sound like something that was just too good to be true?
Honestly, I had seen information about credit repair before, and I had seen ads, and it's like they're all making these huge, crazy promises. And I never went forward with it because I was like, this seems strange,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
trying to do research about credit on your own about what to do. Oh my gosh, there's so much like mismatch information. It was really impossible for me to like decide. And, I had no idea how to fix my credit,
Yeah.
but starting in my 20s, I realized I didn't want just like this simple, like small town life that I was living. I wanted to do more, and I knew I needed my credit to do that. I had no
Yeah.
idea. I had no idea what to do because you try to Google it, you try to look it up, and it tells you 15 different things. And then you see these credit repair companies who, I mean, they have no information about what they're doing, so you're too scared to talk to them, and
Yes.
it was crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. I mean, like your story verbatim was mine 15 years ago as well. It was so overwhelming, and you just don't know who to trust or who to turn to. So,
Exactly.
pretty neat for you to be on the inside of things. And so, I actually want to talk about something really cool. So, I want you to talk about what is the biggest difference between starting with us on day one to what you know now. So if you can put, I know this is going to be hard because you and I are very loquacious, which is we talk a lot. If we can put it into, if we can put it into one sentence for someone listening right now, if you could just narrow it down to one sentence, what would it be?
Pay your bills.
I know, that's a hard one, right?
Whatever you do, pay your bills. Everything on auto pay. That is the biggest thing that you have no idea how much it affects you. There's that and paying down your card balances. Though
Yes.
it affects you so much. Payment history, 35%, right? Your
Yeah.
card balances is 30%. They do almost the same amount of work. So if you're maxing out your cards, it's killing you just as much as brand new late payments, right?
Yeah.
Like pay your stuff off and put everything on auto pay. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the biggest surprise when you were learning?
Biggest surprise. Honestly, it's how much your credit card balances actually affect you.
Yeah.
It's a massive amount. I saw one of our clients when they started, we had our original consultation and they were at a 450. And I said, hey, you've got to bring your card balances down before I can start you, right? And we followed up a month later, they had done it and their score had gone up 100 points just them paying off their cards. So I had no idea it weighed that much. It is such a big difference.
It's crazy,
Huge.
right?
It's huge.
I know. And nobody believes me until it actually happens. They're like, you're such a great salesperson. And I'm like, no, I'm really not. I'm like, I'm telling you, this is how it works. It's amazing, like, that we have no idea how this stuff works. And then we see it and we're like, oh, it's so cool. So I want to talk about something really cool because I want you to tell everyone about your personal journey. And I have it set up where I was almost going to kind of steal your thunder. So I want you to tell everybody what you did in these last few months and what major accomplishment that you just had that is so worth celebrating.
So when I started here, and this is not a joke, my credit score was a 550. That was before you ever saw it. And I learned about pay for deletes, and I had one on my report that was one. So I went ahead and knocked that one out. And the one that was left, they were giving me so much strife with. I just couldn't, they were saying the balance was more than it was on the report. They wouldn't let me pay it. It was so strange. So around 3 months here, I had paid down my cards, and I wanted to do it myself. So I did it. And then we pull our update a month later, and it's gone. I'm clear. It was crazy. It was so awesome to see. I mean, when I got the email from the investigations team about that, oh my gosh, it was like this weight. It's the craziest feeling. I mean, it was awesome. And of course it's going to be different for everyone. That's not going to be the time frame for everyone. And I tell people this all day, it's different.
Yeah.
You don't have the same profile I do. I don't have the same profile you do. It's always going to differ. But
Yeah.
I mean, the feeling of knowing that my credit report was back squeaky clean. Oh my gosh, there's nothing like it. And in turn, I was able to purchase a brand new 2026 Nissan Sentra for zero down, which was
gosh.
insane. And I don't want to
What
cry.
was your credit score? What was your credit score when they pulled it?
750.
Unbelievable. So in less than 5 months, I think it was 4? I think it was like 4 months. You went from a 550 to a 750.
Now, not all of that was due to that collection, right? There was that other collection that I did a pay for delete on. I paid my cards down. I got added as an authorized user to a couple of cards. There's so much that went into it, right? But yeah, I closed on that car at a 750, and
That's
I don't want
insane.
to cry, but I had been driving the same vehicle since I got my driver's license. It was an old 2012 beat up Nissan Versa hatchback that had almost 200,000 miles on it. Yes, and now I'm driving in a brand new car, and I never thought I would be able to get a brand new car, much less $0 down. That is the coolest thing. And of course, I always recommend going with a down payment, but I should have put one down, but I didn't, you know?
But I mean, the fact that you qualified and
Yeah.
you at that credit score, you got the best interest rate when insurance,
did.
right? When they actually assess and they give you your rate for your car insurance, you're getting the best rates for car insurance and everything else. And then now, I mean, it's in turn impacting every part of your life. I mean, you want to move, you want to go get a brand new apartment. You're not going to have any issues. They're going to pull your credit and be like, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right? Versus before, it really makes it difficult. And there's just such a lack of options and a lack of choices. And so it's so cool to see what you've done in such a short amount of time. And you're the poster child for what it is that we're trying to teach everyone. Sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, like this credit score. And a lot of times it's not as bad as people think. Like you said, it was just a couple of small things and then correcting the utilization. But had we not worked together, this would have never happened. This wouldn't have been possible because, like you said, you would have just been so intimidated and you wouldn't have even known where to begin. And now you get to transform other people's lives every single day. So that's actually what I want to hear from you firsthand. So you speak to our customers all day, every day. So what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions that you hear on a regular basis that you can help put to rest for everyone out there who's like, is this for me? Can I really do it? Like, how can you help them understand what it was that you struggled to understand?
So one of the biggest misconceptions that I hear every day, and I think people are getting this from TikTok or Reels. There are these people who are posting this stuff and they're wrong, is that when a card is charged off or written off, you don't owe the money anymore. I hear that all the time, and that's just not the case. That just means they wrote it off. You still do owe them, and they will still proceed with collection attempts, right? Especially on a credit card or a personal loan. Those, if they're within the statute of limitations, like pay those off. Collections are a little bit different. It depends on the company they're with. But if it's a credit card charge off or a personal loan charge off, like you still owe that, and you absolutely should pay that off for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misconception holding a lot of people back? What's the biggest reason that people end up telling you no? Like, what would you say stops most people from ever reaching their financial goals?
Time frame. They think it's going to take too long. They allow themselves to kind of get down and lose hope because they find out that I can't tell you how long it's going to take because it's different for everyone. And a lot of clients take 6 to 12 months, but I've seen and I've had it happen to me that some of them are fixed in 1 month, and I think they let themselves put a deadline on their financial future doing this. They think, oh, well, if it's not going to happen now, then it's probably never going to happen. And I don't want people to think that way because it couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, it happened for me. I watch it happen to our clients every day. I found out yesterday that one of our clients closed on their home, which was crazy. I've heard that twice this week, and that's just in my inbox, right? We have other team members who hear that throughout the week. So those two came to me, and I heard that. Many. So I mean, it takes time. It's going to take time. No two people have the same time frame. No two people's credit reports are the same, you know. And so when you find out like, hey, this is a process, for anyone listening, I don't want you to give up, because if you give up, right, then it never happens. You absolutely should keep pushing and keep trying, because you will get there one day, whether it's today or next year or 2 years down the line. Put in the work, you will get there. There's nobody who can't fix their credit. There's nobody in the world who's too far gone.
Yeah. 100%. You are 100% right about that. I mean, I think about my own personal journey with credit, and it took me, so I hired a company years and years and years and years and years and years ago, and it took them 3.5 years to correct my credit. And there was one thing that it was an error on the credit report that they couldn't get off. And so when I actually started doing my work pro bono, I worked on my personal file just to see. I'm like, I don't think that there's actually investigations going on my file, because this is a clear error and this should have come off. It came off in 18 days and my credit was back to perfect in 18 days. And then I was like, I knew it. Like I knew how to do this. And it was all about like factual disputing and going after the credit report based off of how it read. And I was realizing that, again, like there was just so much customization missing from our industry, which is why that we get the results we do, because we're not just lumping everybody into like just this slop pile and sending out all these, investigations that are frivolous and that are just junk investigations. And I was just noticing, I'm like, why is it taking so long? And so like these big companies that deal with 80, 90, 100,000 clients a month, I was noticing how they were doing their investigations. And so I was part of that mill work, which is why it took so long. But I will tell you this, the craziest thing is, even though it took 3.5 years, I would wait 3.5 years again, because I was in the same boat as you were, 500s and now like 800s. But the difference is it's life-changing. I mean, it really is. I mean, like the red carpet is rolled out wherever I go. Like, what do you need? I can only imagine what your mailbox looks like now. The amount
Oh my gosh.
that you're getting.
I have to discard 10 different credit card offers every day.
I bet. Whereas before, right, you couldn't even get one. Right?
No, yes, and that was one of the things I actually wanted to mention was like, people think that they have no way to get credit, and I was there because I was like, how do they want me to build credit if I can't get approved for a credit card? And it's like, talk to someone who knows, like whether you need repair or not, talk to somebody who knows, because they're going to be able to tell you exactly how to build your credit. Because you're right, you can't go apply for a credit card and get an unsecured card with no credit. You're right, but there's other ways. There's other ways, and you have to find those ways and get in there, and you can't just Google those ways. I mean, they're so hard to find, and for the longest I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm 21 years old, I can't get a credit card. How am I ever going to buy a house if I can't get a credit card, right? So it's talk to someone who knows for sure.
100%. I remember that. I was trying to build
Google
credit.
Your life away.
Google your life away is right. I mean, it's just like, there's so much confusion out there. I love that. So if you could, like, do you have a story? Because I mean, again, I know it's been under 6 months, but we do so much great work and it happens so fast. I still remember within your first 30 days, you were like, oh my God, this person's doing so well, and this person's doing so well, and this person's doing so well. And like, you got to see like all of the giant moves that people were making. Is there one or two stories that really stand out to you that you just were like, oh my gosh, like this does work? Outside, of course, your own personal file. Was there anybody else's file, of course, no names, but anybody else's file that really stood out to you, a situation, a conversation you had where you saw the momentum, you saw the scores like just lift quickly?
Absolutely. So there was this client, him and his wife were struggling with a collection on their credit report. Okay. They had disputed it all the way there and back. I mean, they had been arguing with the bank for months. The banks kept telling them they were going to take it off, and they weren't taking it off. The collections departments were telling them they were going to take it off. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So I said, okay, well, let's get you started. First, pay down your card. And I followed up with him a month later, and he not only paid down his card, but got a balance increase or a limit increase as well. And I watched how we did a repull on the soft pull, of course, to have it updated for our team, and his score had risen just from doing that. And then we started him in our program, and the following month, same thing as I did, we pulled his report, and it was gone, clean. Because it's times like those where it's like, I've talked with them and they told me they're going to take it off. I have proof they told me they're going to take it off. And they didn't take it off.
And they don't. What was the score increase?
Oh my gosh. He was in the 650s. He ended in the 8s.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And all it is just sometimes it's just, you just need a professional's touch on it. Like you're just not doing this correctly. And we just need to make this tweak here. And it's just amazing what can happen with just a little bit of a professional's touch. I mean, it really is mind blowing. That's so cool. So I really want to hear about a situation that, because I mean, let's face it, like we're are borderline therapists, and
Yeah.
we love it. We hear everybody's most personal stories, right? I mean, like we're sharing our intimate and our personal stories, our finances, right? I mean, it's connected to everything. And what's a story that really stood out to you that a client was experiencing?
I might cry. I
Oh,
might. There was a lady that we enrolled. This has been several months ago. She's still with us, and she's doing great. She's doing great in the program. But I spoke with her, and she told me she was going through a horrible divorce, dealing with a abusive ex-husband she had to call the cops on him multiple times for domestic violence, and in the divorce, he allowed absolutely everything they owned to be. So she left the house. She left it to him, but her name was still on these bills and this stuff. The Wi-Fi went to collections. The house was foreclosed on. I mean, they lost everything. And I did her most recent update. I think it was earlier or at the end of last month, and she's already up like 70 points.
wow.
So she's doing really good, but that one was really rough because I just got out of a very horrible relationship that I was in. So it spoke to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that could be me. So it was a rough call. It was really hard. She was the sweetest lady too. She had a son. It was, oh my gosh, her story was just heartbreaking. And I was like, I just, I hear that one. I've heard I left my husband and it was nasty and he let all the bills go. I've heard it so many times and it's just so unfortunate. It's a hard story to hear. There have been others as well. I won't keep going on, but it reminds me every day why we do what we do, because most of the time your credit isn't because you did something wrong. It's something happened. Something bad happened. Nobody chooses not to pay their bills just because they don't want to, you know?
Sure.
You know, something happened that led to you getting there and you just want out of it. And it's oof.
Yeah. I know. It's wild. I know. There's too many stories to count, and it's amazing. Like when someone gets into this business and they have a huge heart like you do, there's just no way not to just want to do everything you can to help these people. And the stories are endless, and it just amazes me, just the situations that we hear every single day. And it's honestly, it's our truest privilege. One, they trust us enough to help them out of these situations. But the cool thing is that we're like, hey, like, they reached out, they offered out, they took the hand out. And so we took our hand right back and we said, okay, we're going to lead you through this. And I think that's what's the coolest thing, because when you're in the middle of it all, it's impossible to see straight. It's just impossible to see straight or think straight. You don't know where to begin or what to do. And you literally need somebody telling you, this is what you need to do day by day, week by week, month by month. That way there's just, you focus on what you need to do, get better, heal, recover mentally, physically, emotionally, and we'll take care of the rest. So powerful. I love your stories. Is there anything, Danni, that you would love to share that would help someone listening, something that's on your heart?
Yeah, I don't give up. I see a lot of people, they're just like, well, maybe I should just file bankruptcy and just start over. I should just let them take my house. Maybe I should just give up. And it's like, please don't. Like, nobody is so far gone that they can't be brought back out of it. I've lived it. I've seen it every day. I've seen what you would think you could never come back from. I've seen people come out of it. There's no I can't do it, right? And if repair's not right for you right now, because we do have a qualification process, right? If it's not right for you right now, we will tell you what to do to fix it. Like, you're not alone. I've been here. Micah's been here. Like, the people at our company work here because we believe in what we do,
Yeah.
So we've been where you were, and we made it out, and we want to help others make it out. So I guess don't give up is my message.
I love that. I love that so much. And if somebody wants to get started with you, where should they go? Where can they find you? and what should they do first?
Okay. So, well, you can find us pretty much everywhere. You can find our company on Google. We have a website. You can find Micah at all of her Instagrams, I'm sure. You've talked about them before. And you can find me at mine, which is Danni at Micah Abigail. And you can message me there. You can schedule on my Calendly. And in my bio on my Instagram, I have a link to the Calendly to book a consultation to talk with me. And we'll go through everything together and come up with a specific action plan for what you need. So you can find me there. You can message me on Instagram. You can book a consultation. You can email me, Danni at Micah Abigail. There's so many ways to reach out to me, and I'll be here.
I love it so much. And we're going to have all of the links in the show notes, so that way you have no issues reaching out to Danni. Danni, I cannot thank you enough for being on this show and being transparent and being vulnerable and sharing your testimony and sharing your story. I truly believe in our testimonies are meant to be shared because it's going to help somebody realize that there is hope at the end of the road and they're not the only ones going through it. And so that's why, you know, I try to share all of my brokenness because I feel like we as people, I feel like we're all broken and together we can heal. And so that's what this show is all about. And I mean, you are one of the most esteemed members of this team. I cannot thank God enough that you crossed our path, and I know the team loves you wholeheartedly. So thank you again for being on the show, and to everyone listening and watching, guys, please follow Danni at Micah Abigail. You'll find her on Instagram. She's always sharing little gems, and take the time, say thank you to her. And if this show inspired you, please like it, save it, and share it with somebody else who you know that needs to hear this message. Based off of the data, 8 out of 10 people technically needed this message on credit. So you do the math. All right, guys, with that being said, thank you so much for listening. That's another episode of Rebuild and Rise. God bless. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit like and subscribe. And if there's someone you know that this would help, please share this with them. If you are looking to fix and repair your credit, you can find us at www.micaabigail.com. And if you're looking for more personal stories on myself, you can find me at Fit Credit Doctor. Thanks again for joining, and God bless.